that they turn it around. Guts have shown that they're beatable. There's question marks for me over Guts, and I think Talon, they are way overdue a good performance here in APAC North Stage 2, and I think we might just see it today. I'm hoping we do, because that's one of the big difference makers for me in the predictions that's going to help. I'm in that position, Des. I'm in that perilous position
desperate.
where I'm dropping down in percentage, so I've got to start clawing it back, so I can't just go the same as you every time, because I'll never catch up.
See, this is the battle though, mate. I took that stance last year and I ended up on like 10% correct predictions.
Well, it might just have to be me in stage 2.
Not a problem by me, needless to say. Guts banning away the Flores. A little bit of a surprise, given Merriu has been a big believer in that operator. We saw them using it back in week 1 to great success on Clubhouse. Mixed results last week, because Merriu, the guy that we put so much praise on, saying the experience that he brings to this Guts side has helped get them a little bit more shape this stage. Last week, 3-12, not the kind of result you're looking for from him. Guts' second ban coming in, going to be that Valkyrie.
We'll be seeing our final defensive ban very quickly, because Talon obviously have it already lined up. They've got a game plan. They know exactly what they want to do, Des. They're prepared. Really they're ready. And Mirror goes by the wayside, as you say. Probably a reasonably easy pick, because it is one of the most common that we see alongside Valkyrie. Probably our two most common defensive bans at the minute there. So Cafe will be the battleground as we come into this APAC North fixture between Talon and Guts. This, for me, is going to be a real clash. I expect these two to be mixing in for the same sort of positions at the end of this stage, maybe in and around that mid-table, having a good scrap amongst themselves, so this one could be extremely important.
I think you'll see Guts pushing top 4, and they've always kind of danced around that area, to be fair. I remember last year we looked back at the end of 2020 and said, oh, can you believe, looking back at it, that Guts finished like inside the top level here, where they were top 4 here, they were almost major levels at this point as well. It was crazy, and they did make it to one of the majors off the back of that, so that was a nice surprise for a team that I'd kind of written off as being very over-aggressive, a little bit too keen to take engagement sometimes, but structure has become a good part of their game, something that I'm really enjoying starting to see. Talon yet ready to get started in the stage. They will kick things off on the defensive side, and by the looks of it, kicking things off with an extended hold inside of Cigar Shop, becoming incredibly popular inside of APAC North at the moment. And a number of teams, I look back to week 1 and I believe it was Fav coming up against T1, neither team able to break the Cigar Shop hold open despite multiple bites at the cherry.
That's it so far. We've got 2 ADSs in there, we've got a mute jammer, we've got a deployable shield, we've got a second mute jammer that's actually trying to cover off the piano wall. It does breach through the wall, so it will cover this wall here and prevent the breach. We're going to have a third one put down by Labyrinth there, just to try and completely clear off that wall at the top of Red Stairs. But as you say, the Cigar Shop hold, always fascinating. I'm be interested to see once we get underway whether Soldier on Castle has castled the double door or not. I can see that he's done the 2 windows here. He's done the 2 white corridor windows, yes, and the double door. So that is all in place to just burn utility after utility after utility before Guts can make any sort of impression onto the Smoke of Tomorrow, who's going to be playing inside that Cigar Shop. He's going to play a tight angle with a shotgun, and he's basically going to try and shut down the Red Stairs push for as long as possible.
Not just that as well, he's also there to blast any of these Hibana charges, the X-Karos that might get put onto the castle.
There you go!
That is very aggressive out of Tomorrow, peeking onto the hatch of all things, and what a player to bring down. Yura, who consistently we have celebrated as being, if not one of the best players on this team, gets shut down straight away in the first round. Really good start for Talon.
5 versus 4, and that Cigar hold already coming up. Trumpstairs doing fantastically well and getting that opening kill. We've still got the double door castle in place, so Tomorrow, he's happy for the time being. He's going to sit there quite comfortably. There's going to be nothing to dislodge him just yet. And Soldier, he's doubling down on that security for his smoke player. He's just holding the angle onto those windows, trying to fight off any rappel that might come along, any sort of attempt to try and breach that double castle barricade. Now, Soldier, just with a little bit of fancy footwork, moving himself around. They've managed to get the mute jammer cleared away, get that wall open from the top of Red Stairs. So that's going to put Soldier under some pressure. And this now is Guts just trying to unpick this defence one piece at a time. Get piano wall open, push from top of Red Stairs, force Soldier out of there, and then allow yourself to deal with that castle wall going into Cigar Shop, move Tomorrow away, and it's all just one piece at a time. But with only 55 seconds left to go, still a lot of pieces in that puzzle, Des.
I mean, the fact that they've wasted 2 minutes on this side of the map is absolutely wonderful stuff, and Tomorrow's still looking to take a bit of a war here. Shotgun in hand, but does lose out, as Light steps his way down the red stairs to get the angle that he needs. They have burnt a lot of time, but now you've got to start thinking about that execute with very limited time remaining, and they haven't yet broken White Corridor. They haven't got all the control they need. This might turn to be a bit of a scuff push coming out of Guts Ace.
Ciora just looking to challenge from White Stairs. What a shot down the length of White Corridor, taking the head off Lily and giving the advantage back to Talon once again. 20 seconds left to go, and tomorrow's hard work is proving a great foundation for this defence. Aziz, he finds the kill onto Light. 3 versus 2 now, 3 versus 1 as Soldier gets one for himself, and it's all down to Merio. 5 seconds left to go, and surely this is too little too late. Nice. And it will be. Soldier, the castle in freezer, putting the last man on ice.
Don't know what it is about APAC teams and not being able to break this hold. I mean, some might look at it and say, oh, Des, but surely it's easy. You get the Zofia on the south window, you blow out the castle barricade, the man inside a cigar is forced to move. Whatever, I understand that. The difficulty here is the player that's inside of Piano. Whether it's blasting the Excaliburs off the wall, whether it's contesting you when you first peek on the window, it makes things so tough. And you can't just go onto a window and rappel and hope to shoot him because he's sat watching the windows for the entirety of the round. It makes it so difficult, and it was so important that Soldier got away alive on that castle, dropped through the hatch, rotated back up into freezer, and you saw him taking both of those final 2 challenges onto the side of Guts. Really solid defense coming out, and Guts again stalling out just like we saw from them previously. It's not looking so good in round number 1, but it is just round 1. Let's see how the second plays out.
Yeah, I mean, the alternative push towards that cigar shop, I've mentioned it already in APAC North, I'll mention it again, and that was the approach that we saw Bolo take at 6 Invitational, which was get the Zofia on that piano window. It's dangerous if you
admittedly didn't have a castle staring at you while you were trying to do it.
It is potentially dangerous if you've got the castle playing inside of there, but it is a pretty quick peek. It's a very big target, is that double barricade to hit, and if you can get one of those explosive grenades through from the Zofia under barrel, you're going to clear it out very quickly, and that starts changing the whole shape of that defence then. Tomorrow is in a much more perilous position. What he can't do is push himself up into the little cigar shop. He can't move away from that shield then. He can't cross over that double door, and so maybe a slightly more aggressive approach from the attackers would have paid dividends, but at the end of the day we're picking at fine details there, and as you say, Soldier may well have got himself a free bit onto the rappel now. We are in round 2. We're going to be defending this time Talon down on the kitchen site, so it looks like they're shaping up towards a freezer hold for the time being. We've got VIP, we've got a man playing inside there with a shield in place. We usually see it. It's the angle that just plays out onto the bottom of White Stairs. So they're going to hold on to that for as long as possible. Ooh, now, interestingly, they've got the Jaeger of Ciora over in Bakery as well. So Talon not really committing 100% to either side of the site here, instead choosing to put some resistance on both.
And not committing to a vertical roam either, which is what a lot of teams will do, just to waste some time at the top. Attacking teams generally will start up on the top floor and work their way down anyway, so it's like, well, if they're going to start there, we may as well greet them there, kill a couple of drones, pull back to site, for example. You do run the risk of being cut, so maybe that's why they've opted not to. The one thing that makes me nervous about this site, and I tell you what, Ace, take a look down that defensive lineup for me and tell me what operator makes you worry the most out of the defenders.
It's always the Clash. No, it's not. It's the Echo.
Absolutely. What did we see in the last game? Last final round.
That combination is awful. You
Honestly,
can't pick between them.
The kitchens, they are both awful, true. But the kitchen site and Echo, I wish we had a stat that told us how many times a plant had been interrupted on this site by a yokai drone. Because whether it was SI, whether it's been in APAC North, we just saw it in round 9 of the previous game on this exact same map. The number of interrupts in the dying couple of seconds from Echoes is absolutely ludicrous. I can't believe how many teams get away with it, so keep a very close eye on how low that timer runs. If it gets down to the final 30 seconds and you've got Guts looking at a plant inside a freezer, you know there is a yokai somewhere waiting to be triggered at the right time.
The big difference between the two, you know, obviously I sort of jokingly pick up on Clash there, but Clash is a nuisance. Echo is decisive, and I think that's the big difference on this site now. Soldier's going to take a lot of damage, but it doesn't matter because Yura is the one that takes more. Yura going out as the opening death once again. Round 1 and round 2 now having very little impact so far in the first couple of rounds of Cafe. We can see here Guts are still looking to push in, and that is a perfect combination between the two operators that we picked up on Des. We've got Clash, we've got Soldier on the Echo supporting each other. Clash goes out, makes the challenge, fronts up, Echo hits the shots. He's going to get himself another another one here if they're not careful. Soldier, oh, he just dips to the ground, but it doesn't matter because it's Labyrinth instead who finds the headshot onto Light. 4 versus 2, and Guts once again struggling to unpick the Talon defense. 15 seconds left to go with a clash on the board. This is over, Des.
This looks like it's more than done at this point, Ace. 2 versus 4 with not a will in the world to get them over the finish line. Soldier and Tomorrow closing out for the closing double. And I'm telling you now, JJ is absolutely howling at his team there. I didn't see who was droning him in, admittedly, but whoever called, oh, there's a clash here holding prep, you're fine to push in, didn't call out, or probably didn't see. We didn't see it on the screen at least.
There's an echo with him.
Yeah, not so much that. You just didn't know there was a player behind the bakery bar. And it's like, you know, if you step in to try and melee a clash, they're going to stand up behind that bar, they're going to blast you in the skull, and you are done for that round. That call must have been completely missing, and that is a huge miscommunication error on the side of Guts.
5-0 for Soldiers so far.
He was 0-8 last week.
Going big. He's going big. He's turning up, and that's exactly what my predictions need, Des. Talon are looking good right now. This is more like the Talon that we're used to seeing back from stage 1.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Much better. And for Guts, stringing together a coherent attack is going to be big focus number 1 right now. Slightly concerned. I mean, I'm not really concerned. I'm just curious to know why there's a Gridlock stepping in here in place of the Nomad like we've seen in the last 2 rounds. Gridlock you're more used for the interiors. You want to drop down those tracks on stairways, for example. It's not like they've been flanked by Talon repeatedly. In fact, hardly at all. Talon have just said, look, you want to come at us? Fine. We'll happily sit and play inside of Piano and then drop down to site later. We'll happily sit on site or sit behind the bakery and let you step at us. You're not forced to move by the Gridlock tracks, whereas by an air jab, you're going to be forced to move, or you can't push into them so freely. So I'm wondering if maybe it's a thing to do with the smokes. Not entirely sure. We'll see how things play out.
The battle lines have been drawn by Talon here. They are, of course, defending the reading room, which is on the mid floor. They have taken the usual top floor standstill, and we could see all that utility was lining up along the sort of freezer to cocktail wall, and it's basically drawing a battle line, thank you very much, there from that east side to west side. And Talon, they're going to try and play in behind all that utility. They're going to keep hold of cocktail at all costs. It's directly above sight. It's got a lot of destructible surface there that vertical angles can be gained through. So every minute that Talon can burn where they're still in control of that top floor is a huge accomplishment for them. And that is what they're going to try to do first and foremost here. Guts, they're pushing in from the Piano side. So you get this sort of 2 tribes, Des, on the opposite side of the top floor, just edging towards each other, coming towards that final clash together in the middle.
When they say it's 2 tribes go to war,
they're about to.
Score. You know exactly how it's going to play out there if you know that song. Either way, yes, no big resistance inside of Piano this time, so not going as bold as Fnatic did in the previous fixture, where they actually had a full-on setup here. They had the bathroom shield set up, reinforcements committed there, a cigar hold. They went to town. Yura has been, I think, 3 rounds in a row now, by the way, the entry death for the boys, and he's walked in twice into Tomorrow as well. There's not been a good start for, again, the star player you would wager on the side of Guts.
Absolutely not. Yura throwing himself away again. Aziz gets Merio, and this is all falling apart. I've said that before, and I get the feeling I'm going to say it again before the end of this game. JJ manages to find Aziz, but that still leaves them 4 versus 3 in favour of Talon. 1 minute 20 left to go, and the big key there is the fact that there's 4 players on the side of Talon, so I would bet that there are still players lodged up on that top floor that Guts have yet to move. We can see the silhouette off to our left. That is Siora on the Jaeger at the top of white. If my hundreds and hundreds of hours of watching Siege have done anything, Des, I'll be right about that silhouette.
You'd hope so. But again, it's just Guts running in one at a time here into an absolute grind machine coming out the side of Talon. Namely Tomorrow, finally going to bust him with a bit of a vertical play. He asked the question, you had this vertical control earlier on, you know that he got the opening kill from there. Why not open it vertically and look for that challenge? You've still got to deal with Sayora here playing at the top side, Lily now with the control that he's got. But this is like, you're still wrestling for control of the top floor here before even thinking about trying to push into the second. Again, it's one of those where Guts are in a massive disadvantage, or were, I should say. It was a 4 versus 2 until that kill came through onto Tomorrow. But 20 seconds to go in a 2 versus 3. We got to see something big out of Lily or out of Light.
We saw the light on the default camera there. They are more than aware. You can see Aziz Tomorrow on the left-hand side of your screen, that UI. It shows you what those dead players are looking at. They're on the default cams. That information's getting fed back in. They know exactly where Lily is. Siora, he had that information. Lily's pushing your white stairs. He just had to sit and wait. It was perfectly timed. The last man comes in. Soldier finds the kill onto Light. A quick trade, as he did manage to get one for himself. There was absolutely no option there for Guts left other than to just go route 1 into sight and see what happens. Just throw the dice, see how they land. And that time, it was not a successful roll.
constant ones coming through, and Guts, I think rightly so at this point, call a timeout because these rounds have been messy. Whether it comes down to the constant 1v1s they're taking, the misdroning, the mismanagement of time, lots of things working against them and not what we're used to seeing coming out of them. But let's celebrate what's going well for the side of Talon here. Their defenses, they absolutely have. Their defenses are looking great. They're hitting their gunshots. You've got Tomorrow sat there in that round of 2K inside of Train. It's looking a lot better. And Soldier, got to commend him because, again, 0-8 last week. I came into this week thinking we can't afford another performance like that. He's absolutely rolling in it at this point. And I believe across those 3 rounds, Guts only got 6 kills.
Yep. I mean,
2 kills per round.
One thing that I want to point out for Talon as well that has impressed me so far, and that is patience.
Yes.
Been playing very patiently. Tomorrow, inside of Cigar Shop, didn't over-aggress. Right at the very end of his sort of reign of terror in there, he did push out slightly, not the best timing, got shut down from Red Stairs. It didn't matter. The round was pretty much won at that point. But also, Ciora at the top of White Stairs there, we saw that I think it was Lily that got a kill from the hatch and then was pushing him from White Corridor. He just didn't react to it. There was bullets raining into that shield in front of him. And in my head, I'm sort of screaming, don't peek him. You don't need to. You're just there to stop him getting to Cocktail. Just wait there. Yep. You'll know if he pushes the corridor. And Ciora absolutely perfectly just sat in behind that shield. He was like, yeah.
And what?
And what? Fire your bullets all day long. And then he was in a position to pick up the Zofia after that rotation onto White Stairs. So it just worked out absolutely perfectly for them. And it is that patience. There's the confidence in their setup. Ciora knows, if I hold this location, we will win this round. And that's exactly what he does. He doesn't take the aggression. He doesn't take the peek. He knows he doesn't need to.
Well, hopefully in this round, Yura, they've had a discussion and said, right, how can we keep Yura alive for longer than 30 seconds? Because, again, he's been their star man in the previous 2 games of the season.
He's almost certainly going to get put on entry droning.
Oh, but that's... you reckon?
It's got to be the answer, hasn't it? Like, Yura, just get on the drones for the first 30 seconds. You're not allowed anywhere near the building.
Or at the very least, not allowed anywhere near a gunfight, it feels like. However, Talon may choose to take the early engagement onto him and give a slightly different response. Time will tell. But keeping him alive for me is the one thing that I'm looking out for here. If he gets inside the building and gets himself set up, admittedly hasn't really had a chance to take a gunfight yet, so may not even be fully warmed into things like the rest of the side of Talon may be, but they need him. Very clear, again, with only 6 kills so far across those 3 rounds, that they need someone who can step up and do the fragging. Normally that is Yura.
It certainly is. He's certainly alive longer than he has been previously, so far so good. We'll see whether the Arna can have a bigger impact this round. As you say, we're aware that Yura is much more than capable of doing so. Right, he's going to get those air jabs deployed, one onto Red Stairs to avoid the potential flank coming up that way, and then we start moving on to the rappel. That's unfortunate. I don't know if that was just a little bit of an issue with the window frame there, but we are going to still struggle for the time being to get those Hibana pellets activated until the mute jammer is cleared off by these Zofia.
There we go, much better. They kind of stalled out on this previously, but I think now you face his defense once, you have a better idea as to what you're going to expect. Admittedly, it is the laser gates rather than the castle barricades being brought through in this setup. Some teams have used both, and a laser gate being placed onto the cigar door, one onto the south window, and then castle barricades on top of those as well. You have 4 layers of resistance. It can be really irritating to deal with the utility that you've got. Guess who's the opening death once again, though, Ace? What was I saying not 60 seconds ago? Yura needs to stay alive longer and get some good gunfights under his belt. Yet here he is, losing another.
Well, I mean, 1 out of 2. He stayed alive for longer, but he's not...
It's not the full checklist.
He's not survived through the first gunfight.
Look, if I ask for chocolate for Christmas, you don't just send me an empty wrapper. You bring the chocolate as well. I'm getting half a deal here.
You've obviously never received chocolate from me, Des.
It doesn't last much longer once it steps outside the shop. Speaking of the shop, though, we were speaking about Cigar Shop and the hole that's coming through. You've also got now some control inside of there and also a slight push coming through into Piano. So they've got a better grounding than in the previous rounds, but you still got these members of Talon sat a little bit further back. C4 below, I think that was just pinged for a second there, which may yet have a big impact in this round. We'll keep a close eye on that one. But again, it's very horizontal focus coming out of Guts. No real vertical play. Soldier is lucky to still have his life.
He really is. That was a beautiful angle that was found onto the freezer, and Soldier knows he can do nothing here other than keep himself locked deep inside the cold storage area there. He takes the prone to try and get an angle back. Now then, he's managed to sneak out, Des. He could well find himself surprising them. Did the drone see him? Yes. It turns. He goes on for the challenge, but Lily, with the information in in hand, fed to him by the sledge. Merio finds that kill. Aziz with a big run out, gets a kill onto Light though, and Talon, no matter how you move, no matter how you juke, they are still managing to find those big haymakers here on Cafe, and in comes another with Aziz on the Nitro. 4 versus 2 now. Talon going massive. 3 seconds to go. They just need to survive Lily's onslaught, and they will. The clock wins another round for them, and that is 4-0.
Jess, I know you're across the studio, but do you know who you predicted for this game, by the way? You know who it was? Can you not tell by the rampant excitement in his voice? It was Talon.
Bias casting.
Bias casting, guys. Send him home. I'm already sick and tired of him. No, that was another one of those slow rounds where, sure, they got the grounded control they need. They had Cigar, they had Piano, but with no ease control, and you had one player out there. Tell me, if you're a player that likes to jump out, that likes being aggressive, and there's one player on Repel with 0 cover, no claymores down, what are you doing, Ace?
You're going out.
You're jumping out of a window. Damn straight you are, and there's
You're
no
going
cover. I'm going. I've heard about this, right? You got out and you've got out. Well, I still don't fully understand the two. I also heard, by the way, in South Africa, they have now and now.
Oh, no.
Now is in the next 10 minutes. Now is like today at some point.
Okay.
Which baffles me.
Well, as
the wonderful linguistics of the world.
He was out immediately.
He was out there like a rocket, absolutely. And once he got back under, we touched on the pre-placed C4. Just said, tell me when they walk across the bar. They're across the bar. Cool. Pull the trigger. 3K for Aziz. Far too easy. Guts reeling at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if we get to the second half and it's 6-0 to Talon.
At this point, it wouldn't surprise me. Like you say, it's very difficult for Guts to put the brakes on.
Should we lower our expectations of getting around here to just getting Euro a kill?
Yeah, that's it. Let's get Euro involved. 0 and 4 so far. It's been a tough one for him. Now, I'm noticing as well, Des, it's worth pointing out that we seem to have had the alteration to the UI as well.
Oh.
We've got kills followed by deaths and then assists.
Yes, that confused me earlier on.
Yeah,
and I was
just looked at it, I was like, Euro doesn't have 4 assists.
And 1 death. I'm sure he's died more often than that.
I mean, I've written down that he's died 4 times.
Yeah, was it was the patch today?
I'm not 100% sure, but we've certainly switched. So, because the main scoreboard obviously underwent an overhaul and became, instead of kills, assists, deaths, it's kills, deaths, assists, and we've now updated our wonderful UI, and that is
now look. I've got a background in a certain MOBA where they also do KDA, so this makes my heart very happy.
There you go then.
And now I feel like I'm reading the same language. It's fantastic. So yeah, I'm happy at least on that front. It will take a bit of getting used to, as we're so used to flicking across to the far right to understand deaths, but hey, be a nice adaptation. They know that someone's downstairs. I have any money bet, by the way, it's probably going to be Tomorrow hanging down there. And if he's lurking, okay, no, far enough. I'm glad I didn't put any actual number on that money. I thought it might be Tomorrow hanging downstairs, ready to fight again from train up through the vertical angle. We see Fnatic doing that angle an awful lot, where you'll have someone like Mag in there, and they'll challenge the vertical as soon as someone steps in.
There we go, Euro.
I mean, okay, there's checklist number 1, Ace. We've got about another 7 items to go until we got a round on the board. It's a start.
I'll shout him up for everyone that he gets, and that's a fantastic start for Guts coming in and getting themselves a man advantage halfway through the round, and they're not going too badly so far. Attacking onto Kitchen, they've got themselves top floor control. They can start now pushing the mid floor, but they don't want to take too long. If they want to get those vertical angles opened up, I'm just looking what options they've got. They've got the Zephyr, of course, breaching charges as well, so that's essentially 5 explosions to open up areas of that mid-floor above Kitchen. They can use the few that have been put in place by the defenders as well, but they don't want to leave this too late now. JJ, he's making his way quickly down those red stairs. Mid-floor control is theirs. 1 minute left to go. Need to get a wriggle on.
I talk about it all the time. I'll reference my metric on this map again. At what point do you start opening up the vertical? All right, about minute 10, minute and 15, it's one of the more slower end of the scale. 1 minute 30 is what you see most teams around the world when they start getting this floor opened up. They've done a great job of it, mind you. How is JJ going down? But Tomorrow isn't. Finally, Tomorrow is finished off, and JJ was outside on the wall. And I think he got shot from the player that's currently Azzy, who has been everywhere this game. He started in Train, now he's in Bakery, brings one down through the north window, and now wants to challenge onto the player that's hanging outside of Bakery. No C4 on side, bought the... what are they called? Barbed wire. It's been that long since I've seen one.
Barbed wire, Des.
I haven't seen him in that long. I don't even know the name anymore. The barbed wire he brought along as he starts striking onto Light. They're just absolutely running amok here, and Euro's starting to push in through prep as Merry finds one onto Soldier elsewhere. We've gotten to a point where there's a big numbers advantage. If you're going to win a round, it's going to be this one. But fear the Reaper who hangs above Ace. If they know about this angle, surely they can see him. Oh, no. No!
Guts, you done it all. You had the foundations in place. No, he gets the final kill.
He started planting and came off the plant. Why?
No, Guts win. The final kill came in. That confused me. The final kill came in. He got Aziz.
Those final 10 seconds were a roller coaster of emotion. Honestly, I saw him pull off and I thought it stopped and time just ended and that was it. I saw him get the kill and thought, what the hell's happened here as the round won? Okay, breathe.
Simmer.
They get the round. It wasn't quite the full 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 checklist we were speaking about. It was more like 1 to 6, cross out 4, start back at 2, 3, got lost somewhere along the way.
Add in number 9, give the casters a heart attack. That was added in there.
Oh, crazy. Honestly, crazy. We both thought it was over.
What a game! I'm loving this.
Of course you are. Your
It's the
team's
most
4-on-1. I mean, we had...
Des, there is no bias on this, Des.
Shut up. Shut your mouth. We had the Vitality game the other day that was an absolute screamer at the every single round ending. And now over in APAC, we're getting this one. I'll take more of these every day of the week in every single fixture if that's what it takes for us to scream and lose our voices within 24 hours. Let's see, though, how the next setup goes. And I believe we are into reading as the offsite, unless I've chosen to repeat on the downstairs. I won't lie, I was far too busy screaming.
I've written reading down, so we'll go with it.
We can tell
from the silhouette. They are.
You can tell now they are indeed on reading. So again, it's going to be a case of can you take control of this top floor in good time? That's where they've been held up so far on the side of Guts.
They didn't get any top floor control last time attacking reading. They didn't manage to move Ciora off the top of White Stairs.
He had a field day.
Yeah, that's the key this time. They need to get White Stairs cleared out to give them access to Cocktail, get in there, Merio, open up those vertical angles. That's got to be the focus for Guts.
I can think back to so many memories of casting in the past when like a round has come down to a vertical shot being lined up. Think of that round 15 between G2 and BDS on Theme Park at the start of the year when Brine gets the toe shot and wins the game and it's like, what the hell?
I want to watch that back, Des, because Aziz took the shot with about 2 seconds left, but I don't know how long was left on the plant timer.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, if you leave that another second... It's game. Like, could he have got it all the way down to 0-0 before taking that shot? It's not a criticism because that's the hardest thing in the world. Because if that diffuser goes down, it's round over. Forget about it. He has to stop the diffuser going down. But it's just how long do you dare to do it? Do you dare to leave it? And he just gave them couple of seconds that they needed.
They're waiting for someone to come through the red hatch here, but it's not. I want to watch it back just to see who screamed louder in that moment. When the sport, were you out of excitement or me out of disappointment and despair that we were about to lose a round that should have been the go-to? And I say weird if I'm with the boys here. All right, then you know what? You're Talon, I'm Guts for this game. Our predictions have gone that way. This is what a biased cast is like, ladies and gents. We're going to go that far in if we really have to. Let's see, though. 90 seconds have elapsed. No one is dead. Yura, you'll be pleased to know, is still alive in the round. You're getting another ping onto a pre-play. Sorry, it's twice I've done this. Oh, look at this. Go on. Pull it.
That's a Gemini, though.
Oh, of course it is.
There you go.
It baits even me, and I'm a caster. This is why I don't play the game.
There we go. This is better, Des. This is better. They've moved Ciora's shield. So the Jaeger now has to dip away back into Cocktail. 1 minute 10. There goes the nade. I think it's... No, I was going to say I thought it might have been picked up by an ADS, but it wasn't. Light finds the opening kill onto Aziz. That's the Aruni down, and he looked like he was priming for another run out. He'd punched down that library door, and I thought he was keen to look towards that east run out, but won't get the opportunity now. This is better from Guts. They've really got themselves into the game here. They're sweeping across the top floor. They've got the pinch on the last man that's left alive up there. They need to clear that out and start getting some vertical pressure. Time is going to be the big concern here, but with Merio finding a kill onto Soldier, they are looking good right now.
They are. I mean, 2 kills is great, but look at how last round almost transpired. Give it a bit more time and see how the next couple break down, because there could easily be a couple of kills coming back. C4 downs Meryu, that one that we spoke about earlier on. Not quite the same pre-place one, but the C4s once more striking onto the sledge, whose job it is to get those vertical angles. Tomorrow, look at him holding so close here onto the reading door. 15 seconds come in. Guts have been troubled by the clock continuously, Ace, and it feels like it's about to start again. They step in. The sound of that Banshee going off is going to be the go point. Out comes from behind as well. Europe from above drops in. Out comes the shotgun labyrinth. 1, 2, but Yura closes it out. Guts find the second round. It's going to be a 4-2 half to the side of the defenders, which when you look at it, feels like the kind of scoreline you should come to expect, Ace. I almost feel like Guts, they've pulled off the Italian job here, but let's call it the Japanese job because it's the Italian job plus a few more steps.
Certainly is. I love that air jab. I'll be looking back as well to see exactly where that was placed. There was the flank coming in there from Tomorrow, and I thought, he's going to hit him here. He's going to hit him hard. But then as soon as that air jab went off, bang, there was somebody ready to launch themselves over the top rope there, straight over with a big elbow drop down to pillars, got the kill and just mopped up the round. It was beautiful from Guts. What a finish, 4-2, and we've got a game on now.
Pulling off the instant assassination, calling Ezio out of Tori. There's a lot of Italian to Japanese comparisons going on in this game. I don't know how I feel about that, but we're going to take it. Let's see how Guts' defense shapes up, and now that I've seen the castle and the Aruni coming out, this is what I spoke about earlier on, Ace. You are going to see this cigar hold coming through, where they're going to layer up laser gates on top of castle barricades, mute jammers, shields. You're probably going to have lights in there with those smoke canisters too. What I want to see from Talon is them to be the first Japanese team, or first, APAC North team that breaks open this hold. Teams have struggled with this. In fact, Fav, I think, were the only ones to really be able to attack aggressively into it and succeed, because they just repel inside a piano, get the kills they need, and then make their push down white, basically completely ignoring the setup that was going on inside a cigar shop. So to me, that's the big metric of this attack. Can Talon break it in good time?
There goes the second castle barricade from JJ that you discussed. We've got the single window, we've got the double door, we've got the Aruni gate, we've got everything going on to try and keep Light safe. We'll see if he can have as much impact from that position as tomorrow did for Talon. We've got Talon's first attack here. We've switched sides, having played 6 rounds, best of 12, of course. So we have 6 defensive rounds for Talon, followed by 6 attacking rounds. Now Light, he's aggressive on this hatch as bullets rain in through it. He does so just see the man, but he's going to dip away from that fight, and just in time as shots rain back in towards him. Out go the air jabs from Aziz. He's preparing to just avoid any sort of flank difficulty later in the round. We just saw in the very last round, round 6, how important those air jabs can be in those late round situations.
Absolutely. You can see the hole coming in here, 1 or 2 being burnt out. You've got to be careful, by the way, as a smoke player playing here, because you can disable your own laser gate by, of course, standing too close, which makes it even easier for the attackers to break it away. With him now being inside of the actual mini cigar, I suppose the actual literal shop itself here will make sure that it stays activated, but as soon as he pulls back behind the shield, you've got to be so careful of that. Lily, the first one to go down. It's the Aruni taken out by Azzy.
Good start there for Talon as it's opening things up. It's been a couple of rounds since they've had that opening killer man advantage, so we'll see just exactly how they can fare now. They're on the attack. Can they keep that pressure coming in? Light is yet to be moved out of that small cigar shop. They haven't really had an answer to the smoke as of yet. He's still got his shield in place. He's still got the castle barricade. There goes the shield, so they are chipping away one piece at a time. There's plenty of seconds left on the clock. 1 minute 20 left to go. Labyrinth looks to get that piano wall open, so a red stairs drop will almost certainly follow very shortly, especially once they recognise that Light has now been moved away. He's playing underneath the new balcony. Out goes the nade. It won't be successful as the smoke gets forced deeper into sight with only a sliver of health left.
Ooh, okay. Again, they're ignoring the hold itself and actually just saying, yeah, screw cigar shop for now until we can just push straight in through red hatch. But the second kill onto JJ being removed is a good one. 45 seconds left. I'm not too nervous for Talon at this point. Plenty of time to play with, but the information from this bulletproof cam playing up to the north is still enough to feed. Merry might just be the spoiler, by the way. C4 in hand. Late round plant comes in bar. We know exactly what that turns out to be.
Certainly do. We've got locations being pinged out to assist as well. Now then the sledge just dips away, but not far enough as Merio finds the kill onto Tomorrow from underneath, but it could be too little. Des as Soldier, he manages to get the kill onto Euro. Light now gets picked up. Aziz finds Merio. Ciora finds the last man, and that's going to be a successful first attack onto the top floor for Talon. 5-2.
I thought for a second, I was like, oh, you just sent him run past you inside white and still haven't put him down. It's unfortunate. Talon, 5-2. One more round and they at very least guarantee us some overtime here. Otherwise, they could press on for the full win. I mean, why the hell not? Seeing the Guts have only got those 2 defensive rounds on side that seemingly came out of nowhere, and yet to be able to show on defense any real panache or capability to keep the side of Talon at bay. We're going to head downstairs as a timeout is called in again this time round. I think it'll probably be for Talon this time round, or it might be technical. Who knows? We'll
certainly see in the next... There we go. We've got the answer. Talon, it is. Taking the time out. Just wanting to... The thing is, I don't think that's necessarily a bad time. They've come into their attack. They lost the last couple... You know, was it the last 2 rounds? No.
Yeah, lost 2 defensive rounds.
Yeah, lost the last 2 defensive rounds. So, Guts have a little bit of momentum built up there coming into their defence. You get that first attack. It was pretty overwhelming.
Yeah.
It was a good win from Talon on the attack. So, right... Let's just slow things down. Let's not let things run away from us. Let's just take it steady and let's give Guts some thinking time.
Yes. Just
Let's let that
just let
settle
them
in.
fester.
Yeah.
Just let them see, oh, you're down 5-2, you might lose.
Much
the game
like
if it
Des with
carries
his
on.
predictions as he looks at the score and he realises it's all going south. I'm a really good winner.
Who's this guy? Who invited him? Who is he? You're terrible.
I'm a terrible winner.
You are a terrible winner. I remember you saying you couldn't be a pro player because you would be screaming across Lanels if you were.
The thing is, does it surprise anybody? I get very passionate on the cast. I'm just an excitable person.
Yeah, but you're normally really like, positive.
I am positive.
But then
and
you
if I'm winning, I can be extra positive.
About yourself and not about the person that's losing.
I'm going to shout about myself. I'm going to big myself up.
Except here, you're ripping
I don't get much of an opportunity normally.
You're ripping into me. What percentage were you on at the start of the day? 37 or something?
37. It was rough, Des. That's why I've got to take the wins when they come.
And who did you get for your last game?
Cloud9.
Cloud9. Ooh, see, I went for...
It's a big call, these last two games.
Who were they against in the last game?
Fav.
Oh, yeah. I went for Fav, the team that I betrayed and cast out.
Big call to say that two teams are going to turn their fortunes around on the same play day.
I'll be livid. You're buying beers on the weekend, if so.
Right now, Talon, they are certainly turning their fortune around. They've got the Talons hooked in to Guts at this point in time, and they just cannot seem to shake them off. 5-2 on the scoreboard, and Talon, they just seem to have the answer to everything right now.
They do indeed, and looking at the setup on the side of Guts in this round, I'm looking towards the buried setup. Normally you'd see like a Jaeger, a Wamai, maybe you get a smoke in there. No, here you're seeing a Vigil, so playing out on the roam, the Bandit for a little bit of electronic denial, the Legion for both a mix of information and denial at the same time, the Maestro for more information, and then the Mozzie for more information and probably roam play as well. So definitely a different setup to what we saw previous. I expect that you'll see Yura off running around the map somewhere. In fact, right now it's the Legion who's looking to contest upon the top floor, and Yura's hanging around white. So it is this roam-based game, the sort of thing that I said in the first half I thought Talon might have tried to employ, is waste a bit of time towards the top side of the map, kill a couple of drones, get yourself back to site, no problem at all. Here it's Guts doing exactly that, and we'll see if Talon can pinch them before they manage to retreat back safely. It's a more interesting choice to have the Legion playing so far from site now, because I don't know if it was really recent, would you describe it as recent anymore, but he did have the nerf whereby once upon a day Legion could see the locations, the little icons for his goo mines, he could see them all over the map. Now he needs line of sight and to be within a distance of them. So when he's playing up on the top floor, if a goo mine goes off down near kitchen, he doesn't really have much of a clue. There's an audio cue for the players on site, but he can't pinpoint that anymore to say, yep, that's going into small bakery, because he can't see that icon anymore. So playing him so far away from site, it is a little bit of a balancing act. Now, Yura, he manages to level things out. The first kill came in onto Lily just a short while ago. With 2 minutes in, with 4 versus 4, Talon still have a presence on the top floor, now have a presence on the mid floor. They're pinching well, they're clearing out well. Talon looking dangerous again. That's what I said I wanted to see from them. Can you pinch these roamers before they get back down to site? And absolutely they have the Legion and the Mozzie dispatched of. Sorry, honestly, those icons still catch me. The Vigil and the Mozzie, the ones being dispatched of, leaving just the 3 site players. No, it's the Mozzie. Oh my God, it's going to kill me. You've got the Bandit,
the camera has been disposed of.
I tell you what, they've caught 2 people, okay? We'll leave it at that. The 2 roamers are gone. Now you're looking towards the Legion, who's taking himself back to site. You've got the Bandit and the Maestro in this 3 versus 4. A C4 still on side, mind you. So if he plays this one right, maybe he had to find something.
Oh, what a shot.
You can't be losing those ones, JJ. Labyrinth absolutely takes his life. C4 does come out, but it's a 1 versus 3 with 15 seconds still to play. Can Light hold it down? Knows that one's coming double door. I'm sure those above him must have heard. Here comes the drop, but didn't know one was already down. Talon have decimated Guts and proven ace right, and nothing pains me more, but that is a big win for them. Like you say, you can kind of feel it. Oh, my bad. I thought that was it.
I think you're right. Just give it another 3 minutes and go again.
I honestly thought that was it. That is entirely my bad, guy. I'm leaking the script, okay? We normally have a script just for SI. Now we've got one for APAC.
Oh, we've seen how well it went.
They have just honestly completely undone them there. Like I don't know what else they can do.
That was really well played from Talon. 15 seconds left to go. I think at that point there was still 2 defenders left. Obviously it got cut down to just the Bandit. But there was just no rush. There was no fear. It was, this is right on point. This is exactly on plan. And they just went in, double dropped the hatch. Absolutely not a problem.
And the trigger was, again, the barbed wire that I touched on in my game-ending moment, saying that no doubt as he stepped over that as the defender, they'll have heard the rattle of it and gone, OK, now we can push in from double door. And there was one player coming there, caught with the red ping by the defenders. And then the other two immediately spring to action, drop the hatch to make sure he's being pincered. And by the time he'd even turned around to fire at the one dropping through the hatch, another one had already fell down to the ground and he had no chance of winning that 2v1 unless there was some godlike recoil onto the first guy that swung up onto the second one's head by pure chance. Unfortunate. Guts backs against the wall. And look where we go, Ace. We're onto the reading site, which means they can defend the top floor as if they were defending the top floor site.
Bar and cocktail?
Yep, exactly that, which means it's probably going to play out in a pretty similar way. You'll see quite a bit of aggression on the top floor. Sure, it's no Castle and a Rooney style setup. So for Talon here, I imagine there's not going to be as much to hold them. On their attack on the top floor, they didn't worry about breaking it. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, you beauty!
Oh, my goodness. That is a shot and a half.
The thing is, Aziz knew that he was there. You could see because he was tentative in pushing forward. He wanted to challenge that himself. But Yura, he just stepped up and came out big there. What an opener for the Mozzie.
We've had some incredible shots. I mean, look back in EUL, like high shot on Consulate, for example. There have been so many naughty shots. A few that I've sat there and gone, oh, I'm dying. It's absolutely filthy. You know, some of them have been that disgusting. That is one of them. Easy, Medics. Don't know who it is on the observer panel this time round. Note it down. That is definitely going to be in our top plays. It's a me, Medics, he says in my ears. I didn't know you could speak to us. How you doing?
He's good. He's very, very good.
No, he said his response was, ooh.
I meant on the observing.
He's very good at that, mate. I assure you of that.
Talon pushing into the top floor now then. They're established with Tomorrow on the sledge. He's looking for that angle from Cigar Shop through into Freezer. Will not get any joy this time, and there's a double reinforce on that cocktail wall. So as much... Oh, what? There we go. Yura springs the trap and springs onto the back of Tomorrow, taking him down, but traded out by Siora, leaving us 4 versus 3.
I can only assume he's wrapped around from Prince there, around the top of New Hatch, and then dropped down into Red and gone for the kill from there. There's no way on hell that he got at Red Stairs knowing there was a Nomad on side. They would have heard him from a mile away. Soldier finding one into light, balanced out at a 3-piece. So sure, there's the 1-for-1 trade from Yura, but it leads it down to Meryu, JJ, and Lily to be the ones to hold the fort here for Guts. Talon are the ones looking for blood.
Numbers could be a problem for Talon. 3 versus 3. There's a minute 12 left to go, but if you've only got 3 men, you need to get those vertical angles, which is going to be a problem. They've lost the sledge. You also need to have somebody on the mid floor to be able to go in and get the diffuser down. So I'm not saying it's not enough, but they need to think about it, and think about it they do, as Labyrinth gets the headshot onto JJ, takes him down. 3 versus 2, this becomes much more possible now. Merio gets aggressive on towards that library door. He's looking to push. He knows there's a man there. The drone is being used. Will it spot Merio out? Surely it will as it comes around the corner. Yes, he sees him. There's the hot ping. He goes in, pre-fires. Merio has to just dip his way back to site. 35 seconds left to go.
One up on the balcony as well. Not enough to be able to bring down the aggressor of Soldier, but in they come. One for the honor. Second spray. Merio! That's what I remember him for as well. Finds the 2-piece. 1 versus 2 for Soldier. He's got 25 seconds to play with, and he's had a hell of a game so far. 10 and 3. If anyone can do it on this team, it's going to be him. Knows that one's playing at the end of pillars, but of course at this point I think he's backed away and got himself down further south. No drones can come in as well, having one in the back pocket, but with no time left. 10 seconds you're looking at. There's one right round to the left, one playing a little bit further. He hasn't even got the diffuser here, Ray, so I think this round should be done, and Dusted Guts will prolong the suffering a little bit further, and at the very least give themselves another shot at staying alive.
This could be the start of a turnaround as Guts with a good defensive round there, winning from a 2 versus 3 situation. They were on the back foot, but they've managed to get it over the line with 2 big kills from Meryu there, just coming in, stepping out at the perfect time into reading, and they lined up for him one after another, and a player like him, he does not miss those opportunities.
He does not. It was a close win, though, I'll say that much. And I think to suggest that Talon can't find one more round in these final 3 would be disingenuous, given how they've been playing. The only thing that I do worry about, and I think you touched on it there, was the momentum side of things. If the win gets taken out of Talon's sails now and Guts start building in confidence, especially after a round like that, you're at an excellent spawn peak and then a second kill coming inside a Cigar. You never know what else can build off the back of it. Look what's being brought along, by the way. You've got the Chanka coming out for Yura to play on the downstairs site.
Okay, I mean, we have seen the odd play of Tachanka since his changes. Obviously, his turret is now mobile. It's not fixed as it once was. It's a very good destructive tool. thank you for that demonstration, Yura, showing us why it's such a good destructive tool on those soft walls. Can open up fantastic rotates very,
He's
very quickly.
Field day, mate.
That's what he's using it for. But of course, he also has those incendiary grenades that he can fire out, and they just burn up. Those all like Capitão's fire arrow. If you haven't seen them, it just creates a mass area of flames on the floor that burns for around 10 seconds. And he's got 10 rounds of those, so it's great for area denial, great for plant denial.
And they got buffed recently too, because the area of the flame was actually so small. Everyone saw it and was like, oh, imagine that smoke, it can stop people getting in for 60 seconds. And then we barely saw him pick because the area and the damage and the duration was quite low. I think the duration got increased from like 5 to 7, and the AoE was also increased on them. Not to a stage that it's absolutely ludicrous, but enough now that you know he's doing it. A couple of teams have used it on the consulate defense, for example. You can bounce the pellets from inside
That's
a
one
cafeteria.
of the big things, is the bounce.
Yeah, the fact that you can bounce them, it's like playing, you know, Pinball Wizard. Like, you look like an absolute hero bouncing them around sites into default plant spots, for example. Although I remember the one time it was used in EUL. Oh, we're going grayscale again, by the way. One time that we saw it used in EUL, it wasn't affected. They just ran around it, and it was like, well, it's still not a big enough area for them to make use of. So I'm really keen to see if it has an impact here. For Yura, that means not dying early on.
So we move into the meat of this round then. As the first minute is over, the information has been gathered, and we are heading towards the final 2 minutes. Can Talon wrap this up here and now? 6-3, they stand on the scoreboard after a pretty torrid first 2 weeks. It's fair to say they've come out and shown us much more of the ability that they showed us back in stage 1. It's been fantastic to see. We've got Aziz on 10 kills, Soldier on 10 kills, much more what we used to see in 20 coming out from between the two of them. Now then, we've got Guts. They're just looking to hold on to Kitchen. Everybody down on the bottom side.
Yeah.
They've been forced back, and they're just going to try to hold on.
I want to let medics know. I think the way we saw to get rid of this in the last game was watch someone throw a drone. So if Sayora throws a drone out, you might get the saving point. I don't know. There we go. Or it's coming off drones or throwing a drone and getting onto it by the looks of it. Interesting. Oh, no. Oh, no. As you step back, what is going on? Tomorrow's being moot jammed.
Well, we're gonna keep you up to date with as best we can. You know, we are under attack from mute right now, but we will give you all the information that we can. We're still 5 versus 5. We're a minute left to go. It appears that we can't get overhead, but this thing's happening, Des. There we go. We've got overhead.
Siege is now a graphical filter simulator, I guess. You want to see what they're like? Please, no.
Right, 5 versus 4, Light Fans and Nitro on to tomorrow. So Guts, they get the round underway with the entry kill. 40 seconds left to go. Here we go, we've got the bits that matter. 35 seconds left to go. They get the vertical angle starting to open up into Kitchen. Talon, full control of the mid-floor at this point. I'm going to try my best to catch you up. All of Guts' remaining defence is now focused on this bottom floor. Talon are going to have to play into it, and they have to play into 5 men, including Tachanka with his incendiary grenades. They know where the push is coming from. Yura, he's going to just start lighting things up now. There he goes. He's just going to pump one after another in there. Sayora, he gets a kill. Soldier onto JJ. 4 versus 3 as the manpower swings around, but then Merio's having none of it. Yura gets involved. 2 versus 1, and we get a knife kill from Sayora, but it won't matter as the clock ticks away, and that only ever favours the defence. It's going to be Guts to get another round on the board. 6-4, and Talon are struggling to get this one over the line.
They're so close now. 2 rounds in a row. You got triple kill and everything. Oh. What the most fascinating thing or most entertaining thing about that round was medics increasing desperation in our ears. It's like, what do I do? How do I get rid of this? And eventually figured it out. Fair play to you, medics. That is a challenge all in itself. That is the next level piece to play to. But you're right. We missed a lot of the setup in that one, but we saw how the execute came through. When Sayora can just tear through sight like that and bring down 3 people, knifing 1, leaving Yura looking absolutely perplexed on the Tachanka.
Sayora's had a great game.
Hasn't he just? Yeah, we spoke about him a lot beyond the shields on the defensive half in that round just then. Really fascinating how it's really quite a team effort looking up and down the scoreboard, by the way. Like, I can think of some wicked shots coming out of Labyrinth, but he's only on 5 kills.
Yeah.
It feels like his impact has been a lot more than that, but that's because it's so spread across the entire team right now. A real team effort coming out of Talon, and in my opinion, that's what they've been waiting for. Because looking back at their ratings from previous games, they were absolutely in the gutter, and maybe he had one player. Like last season, it was Azzy being the big player for them. I think he was back in week 1-2. Now it's a team effort, so they're starting to warm into the stage a bit more. It's like we said with the teams earlier on with T1 especially, Ace, sometimes you just need a bit of time for teams to ease into it.
Today, I mean, the whole of this team, Des, is far greater than the sum of its parts, is what we're seeing, and it's great to see, because that's what we want. We want, and you know, for me, I want to see the same out of Cloud9 in the next game. I want these teams to be getting in and getting competitive. You know, we don't want a couple of teams that are struggling to get results throughout the stage, because that makes it too predictable. Takes away the excitement. We don't want to know what's going to happen. Soldier then heading in towards the map, just being very careful for any potential peaks. I'm sure that they can feel the confidence of Guts rising here. They've got themselves 2 on the board, and we might just feel and find that they're much more willing to take those gunfights, take those opportunities to get aggressive, such as a spawn peak. And they haven't tried it here, and it's down to Talon. They've got themselves safely to the building now. It's about getting in and clearing out these floors.
I think he was hoping the C4 might come singing up to the hatch then. The answer was a resounding no from the side of Guts. No, you shan't get that. And looking at their side, you know, they're also all warming back into it. 3 players and 7 kills. You've got Mary who's sat on 8. Only JJ currently slipping behind. At this point, playing on the castle, you're not going to complain about that too much. They've gone for the setup once again, where they've got the cigar shop hold. Last time round, Talon just ignored the doorway entirely and said, look, we don't care about it. Just give us piano control. We're going to go inside a piano and use that as our main push forwards. Essentially, just go around it.
They're working pretty quickly. First minute, they've got that piano wall open, so they can start forcing people out of there. Labyrinth very cautious over the white stairs door. Doesn't want to get himself peeked out, but he's just going to assist his teammate by clearing out that castle barricade for him as well. That's going to give them the angle over on now. Will he get the opportunity? Yes, what a shot from Soldier. Just watching the angle through the soft wall into the washroom, and, well, he wipes the floor with Yura there.
Patience of a saint as well. To be a minute and a half from the round and still be sat on the window waiting for your man to move. Beautiful stuff. And they were just waiting to kind of fire that off, I think. Now they're going to blow out the cigar door, and Light's going to have to back himself away. So they're down a man. They've wasted about 90 seconds, sure, but you're still in this spot, lost your Jaeger. Not the worst one to lose here, especially if you'd lost a C4 wielder or your smokes, so the mute or the smoke in this case, to be exactly precise. And this time around, remember this bulletproof from last time? It actually caused a little bit of a headache.
Let's
grenade it out. Don't want to run up to it and melee it, just get it off the wall. We don't want to get a shot from across the map.
Well, that's it. You're exposing yourself not only to new balcony, but there's an angle from barback storage as well. You got to be careful. So using the nade perfectly. However, Merio, once again, we've seen him do that already. Nitro from underneath gets the kill onto Soldier, 4-4, but Merio has to find his way back upstairs. That's the one thing to remember. And if Talon gain too much control, there's only 2 staircases, Des. It's pretty easy to lock it down.
That's a great
Tomorrow
nade.
finds the nade onto Lily, as you say, pinpoint accuracy there. Siora, he goes for white stairs, does not find his man. Merio gets himself back up to top floor, but takes a lot of damage. That nade would have been enough. He had to duck away from it. 20 seconds left to go. Merio looks to make that challenge onto Cigar Shop. Labyrinth finds JJ, and then the kills come in. Talon all at once take themselves over the line with aplomb and get themselves their first win of stage 2 here in APAC North.
And against Gutsu for a while, it looked like we're going to resist really hard in that second half, but we spoke about it in the first half. They pulled off the Italian job and taken 2 rounds that you would wager, given how the first 4 went, that they really shouldn't have had. But that is a massive result coming out for them. And again, just like it did in EUL on Monday, starts turning things a little bit upside down. You're never quite sure anymore who can beat who, especially in this middle of the pack.
All jokes aside with predictions, what a game.